What's up, sassy gamers? It's your boy Mike back on the mic for season 2, episode 24. I did, because I'm back this year. This week.
Your boy Mike on the mic.
Keep you guys controlled. You guys are getting too wild without me. I take one day off, and you guys are like creating new podcasts and going out and doing random things.
That's right. It's your boy Mike right here. He's spinning that double mic and that single turntable as he talks about turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Let's get into that now.
Oh my. Are we at an auction? I feel like we're about to get auctioned off.
That's my best.
It's your boy.
This is a little different than normal. We have a Tuesday podcast instead of a Thursday because obviously Thursday is Thanksgiving. Which is the U.S. holiday for Thanksgivings. I think it's different for Canada.
Canada was October. No, I think it was October, not last week. It was October 10th, I think.
Yeah, Bruno was here. He'd be able to tell us, but whatever.
But he's not.
Yeah, see, that's the weird thing. How is he off?
I just offended an entire country. Yeah, it is kind of weird, actually.
And here we are. Here.
Who approved this?
I don't know. I don't ever approve.
October 11th, I was off by one day.
Nice.
Oh. And see, they do it smart. It's Monday, so you just have a 3-day weekend. Instead of Thursday, where you could have a 4-day weekend. If your employer's cool, if they're not cool, you have Thursday off and you come in to work Friday and then you have 2 days off. Like, just third Friday of every November. Like we should make a like some kind of petition for them to constitutionally change that. It's not in the Constitution.
And my heart goes out to all of you working Friday in retail.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Godspeed.
Actually, I did see that Target announced that they're closing all their stores on Thanksgiving forever. That's what they said. Like never opened on Thanksgiving again. But yeah, I mean,
it's until the next CEO decides to do it different.
Exactly.
So I think that part of the reason, I mean, while it is really great, they're not going to be doing it making their employees work. I think they also see they're like, we don't really have to, because do we really make that much money on Thanksgiving? And with all the other stuff happening online, it definitely makes it easier.
Well, it's a lot. And it's the online thing has been a thing, right? Because there's Cyber Monday too, right? But at least over this past year and a half, like most people don't even want to leave their house. They would either just order online and go pick it up. Like they don't even want to go in the store. So I mean, they can make a lot more money that way. Like they don't have to pay for cost, right? Like you don't have to have the lights on. You could literally just put it in a cart and move it outside.
Listen, I'm going to do my part for Black Friday. I'm going to sit in my house and play video games and not buy anything. Cyber, Black Friday, nothing.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, I guess we're not getting Christmas gifts from him this year, Mike, are we?
I don't know I don't think I'll be buying anything either, but
I got a couple of things I'm going to look out for.
So many sales they have all the time. So it's just like, it's like Steam. They used to be like Steam summer sale. And then it's like, oh my God, it's here. And then now it's like, they just have Steam sales all the time.
Yeah. And most of the time I don't buy anything on them because I'm like, well, my Steam not played list is getting 15, 14, 30 deep. 30 games I've now granted, some of those games I bought for like $2.35. Why wouldn't you buy it?
Exactly.
Exactly. Oh, take all my pennies. No, I'm definitely on the hunt for a couple of things. So I'm hoping to
look out, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. Oof.
Do you guys have any sort of Thanksgiving traditions you guys do?
So
I'm actually excited because I'm actually hosting for the first time for my family. I said, no, we're hosting. You guys come to my house. I'm making the turkey.
So awesome. He asks us a question and then says, no, I'm going to go first.
Yeah, whatever.
Do you guys let me go first?
If you just reverse the two of those, it would be a little better.
So you're hosting for the first time ever. That's fantastic.
That's cool.
That is cool.
So
that's a lot of pressure though too.
Yeah. So since you're going to host, what traditional foods, like what U.S. Thanksgiving traditional foods are you going to have And what non-traditional foods are you going to have?
That's a great question there, Brian. So it's funny because typically when my parents host, my wife makes fun of us because she's like, you guys just make 4th of July food. It's like baked beans and coleslaw and like potato salad. And I'm like,
July food. I like that.
For the one, I don't even eat any of that stuff. Well, baked beans maybe, but not the potato salad. Anyway, eggs, down with eggs. But with us, I was like, since we're hosting, I want to. It's our tradition. We can do it if we want, really, right? So I said, we'll do the turkey the way that we do it in Puerto Rico, which is pavlchon, which is basically like the same way we cook our pork, like lechon, but it's just like turkey, like seasoned, like same way it's cooked. So we're gonna do that. That's the only thing that's really.
But how's it cooked? You see, you got seasons that are good.
No,
not
all Puerto Rican. Yeah.
It's seasoned. I can't tell you all the secrets.
No, you don't have to tell us about seasoning. But I mean, like, is it like slow, like barbecue, or is it baked? Like, it's just seasoned,
turkey, or is it just like?
I'll answer your questions, guys. Come on.
Let me ask more.
I know you're
well, we asked him first, and he didn't answer, so we had to ask him again.
No, it's it's a full turkey, and what I do is we've thought it out. Like I actually got it today. I actually just prepped it, put it in the fridge. But basically, it's a lot of garlic, a lot of adobo, a lot of like basically garlic and adobo, really, and just a lot of those things like that. And we just basically slather it down, stuff it inside the meats. And then let it sit in the fridge for a few days, and then
it marinades
Thursday. It marinates, and then Thursday, with the pork, it's a little different because you can cook the pork all day. With the turkey, you can't, so it'll be like 4 hours versus like 8 to 9. But still the same concept, and it's just going to go in the oven, real low temperature, like 350, and just let it fall off the bone, and then that's basically how the turkey's going to come out.
So mostly a seasoning difference and maybe a little bit longer cooking, but not much. Do you put stuffing on the inside or like? No. Okay.
No, we're not doing any stuff on the inside. What I'm actually, I did put a bunch of garlic in there though, like a lot. It's gonna be just cooking garlic. But yeah, so instead of doing stuffing, my wife just had a friend that had a Amish cream corn bread thing. I don't know, I can't what she called it. I have it on my phone. I can probably pull it up. It's the name of it's called Amish baked corn is what it's called. And it's apparently really good, but it's like almost like a stuffing, I guess. So you can use it as in place of. So I'm going to be eating that. We're also going to do cranberry. And we're going to do, I had my phone out. I just looked at everything there. Green bean casserole, which is one of my favorites. And then I think my mom's making the carrot cake, which we've already told her, like, you have to make the carrot cake. She has a secret recipe of carrot cake. It's actually really ridiculous. Like this carrot cake recipe she got from someone on like their dying bed or something. I don't know. And she has not told anybody how to make it. Right.
Whoa.
And start with 35 pounds of non-GMO baby carrots.
We thought
nice and tender.
So a person that won't be named asked for the recipe.
Okay.
And my mom was like, yeah, I'll give it to you one day. So then fast forward, that same person asked, was talking about it around another person. And that person said, oh, I have it. I got it from her. She gave it to me. So she goes, cool, let me get the recipe. So she got the recipe. And the first person that asked originally made the recipe and was like, hey, Mom, I made your carrot cake. Do you want to try it? And of course, Mom was very upset, but didn't really show it at the time. And then, but it still wasn't the same. It just didn't have the same anything.
The extra love.
It turns out that my mom actually gave her the wrong recipe on purpose.
No.
Because
that is evil genius.
She will not share the recipe with anybody.
It's even better. It's like when you sign up to different websites with it's cool if you own your own domain because you can sign up to like, I don't know, let's just say Time Magazine. right? And you sign up with Time Magazine at mydomain.com. So then when you get emails sent to Time Magazine at yourdomain.com from American Family Insurance or American Express, you're like, okay, Time Magazine, I see you're selling my information to other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she could literally like have this recipe that's a generic recipe and put something wild in one part of it. Like I'm putting cinnamon in the cream cheese frosting and I'll give that to this one person. And then if it comes back around, it has cinnamon in it. I know this person's a dirty leak. Yeah, rat.
I will say that it was hilarious when we found out that even the recipe that person got was incorrect.
Was not right.
So, and the thing, it was funny because like this recipe was just from a person she knew, like that literally was like this old lady that, whatever, lived in a shoe. And she got this recipe from her. So like not even a bloodline thing. It's not like it's like passed down through generations. Like, no. And I'm like, are you going to like ever tell anybody how to make this again? Because like I kind of,
if you die, like it's gone.
Yeah. So maybe one day she'll teach me. I don't know. Like I did the same thing with her rice and beans, like the Hispanic Puerto Rican style rice and beans, and like she kept like this is all through college. Like I tried to start making it, and by the time like 10 years later, I finally perfected it because I figured out what she'd been doing the whole time. Because every time she told me, she would tell me something different. I'm like this isn't right. Like I literally put a GoPro in the kitchen one day and filmed her making food, and she was pissed because she kept, like walking, trying to like. She was like definitely not trying to let me see that.
That's a violation of privacy, sir.
100%.
I told her it was there. I was like, I'm putting this GoPro. I'm gonna watch you. So yeah, it was hilarious. But yeah, anyway, that's basically the tradition we're gonna start this year. So pretty much pretty standard Thanksgiving style food, I guess, in a way. What about you guys?
What about you, Brian? I'll go next.
Our tradition is pretty much do something different for every Thanksgiving. And I'm not saying on purpose, like we introduce this new food. I'm like, we just don't have a tradition. Like,
you're like, what are we in the mood for?
There has been a couple of years that we have gotten the kind of pre-done up Thanksgiving meal directly from Cracker Barrel.
That is really good.
Which is really good.
That was good.
Yeah, it's real good.
With that one here.
Yeah, it's a great way to do it. Yeah, because we had one that was just by ourselves, and one we invited some friends over, and just didn't want to do the cooking. Just obviously reheat a couple of things. We did that enough that I looked up a faux recipe for their hash brown casserole and actually got pretty decent at making that. So that like the next year we just kind of did our own thing with the faux casserole. We've done a small, when it's just two of us, turkey. We've done another year where I cooked a big turkey for everyone and like carved turkey for the very first time. That was kind of fun. This year we're not doing turkey at all. We're just doing a ham, and the wife picked up a ham that could feed, I don't know, like 6 people. So that's going to be interesting.
And it's just you guys.
It's just the two of us. I think the one thing that has kind of become traditional is, and I even tried to break it this year and she wouldn't let me, the stuffing, and specifically the stovetop turkey stuffing. Like it has to be that. It's, it's just the cheap box that you put boiling water in and everything. And I tried to do a different stuffing this year and she's like, nope. She even had found stuffing. She goes, oh, look, I've got the stuffing. It was the chicken one. And she walked like several lanes. She goes, oh, they have the turkey one here. We're doing that. Said turkey, put the chicken back. I'll probably try to get some jellied cranberry for myself, because she, for some reason, doesn't like it. I believe she's broken.
That is a tradition in our house.
Mashed potatoes. Yeah, we have to have mashed potatoes.
Yeah, we have no mashed potatoes. This year, I think we're going to do some au gratin potatoes.
Oh, nice.
That we might like finish up crispy in like the oven or something, like at the top. I got some leftover panko breadcrumbs, not leftover. It's it comes in 2 packets. There's 1 packet unopened, so I can use those. Yeah, we're just every year the menu's different with like, I don't know, what are we in the mood for this year? And the time we do it changes. We've done it later, like, cause traditionally it's around like noon to 1-ish, and then you watch football afterwards.
I'll say actually ours starts about 3. We do like early dinner, so that way we can go back later around 7 or 8 and so you basically eat at 3, you take a nap, you turn on football, but you take a nap, and then you wake up around 7 and you make another plate.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of times why we do it at 1, because we'll do it at 1, and then you make a plate at like 4, 3 or 4, and then you make a plate at like 7 or 8. And then the next day, if there's stuff left over, then you make sandwiches with it.
Yeah. Funny, it's like a staple for everyone. What about
you? So we my mom always smokes a turkey, and my brother always deep fries a turkey.
Have you told her that this day and age, the weed is much better than when she was younger, that she doesn't have to smoke a turkey?
Yeah. She can smoke instead. I'll let her know. I don't love turkey. My mom knows this. Like, so she used to do like a regular turkey and a smoked turkey. And we always were like, don't bother with the regular turkey. Like, last year we, because of COVID, everybody was kind of separate, and we had some friends that we were sort of quarantining with, and, we were like, let's make something different. And she made a brisket, and I was like, this is perfect. And then our other friend was like, I don't know why we celebrate with poultry anyway. Like, it's supposed to be the national holiday. And I was like, I agree. Like, screw the turkey. But I do love the smoked turkey, and I do love the deep fried turkey. I know, right? Yeah. I do love that. I also really love the wine. So we do that. And then my mom has found out several years ago that she has celiac disease. So things like, bread are not options. So everything has to be gluten-free. So I'm making pies. They're going to be gluten-free pie crusts. And then there was one tradition that we had for many, many years. My mom would make this thing called frog-eyed salad. And it's kind of like ambrosia. I know it sounds disgusting. It's ambrosia, basically. That's made with these teeny tiny pastas called arancini di pepe. And they're like teeny tiny little pearl pastas. And so,
can you say that word again?
Nope.
Teeny little pearl pastas.
Arancini di pepe. But so for years we haven't had that, and I just got a text message from her a little bit ago saying, I found these on Amazon. It's gluten free. So we're gonna have that. We're gonna have frog-eyed pasta. Yeah.
Sweet.
Nice. Yeah, actually, you mentioned the thing that I was going to bring up at the end was for everybody, and this doesn't always apply, but if you have pie, what pie do you have?
Pecan pie and pumpkin pie. You have to have 2. We're in the South. Then you have pecan and pumpkin, and don't make fun of my pronunciation.
We would have pecan and pumpkin at my parents' house, but we're not doing it. She's bringing the carrot cake. That is all we want.
Do you need me to
we literally told her, you're not coming in this house unless you have that carrot cake with you.
Well,
if you want to see your,
I can just imagine this too, that she like comes in and she's got the carrot cake, and you or your spouse, politely, oh, thanks, I'll put that with the rest. And you take it, and on the way to the kitchen, there's this like little hole in the wall. You put it in the hole in the wall, and the other side is this lab, and they're like carefully taking off some of the frosting and chemically analyzing it. And you're like, they take small samples, and then it makes its way back into like the fridge or on the counter, depending on where it lives.
Genius.
I would say that since it's usually 2 of us, there's usually no pie at all, and if there's a pie, it's going to be a pie that we're both going to eat. So that usually means like a chocolate cream pie or something like that, where it's like not much pie at all and a whole bunch of just sugar. But we also don't eat sugar very often. So most of the time we forget to get anything that's sugar.
sweet potato casserole is another thing, and it's not because of me. It's for my son. My son.
Oh, he loves sweet potatoes.
He'll just eat anything, really. I mean, you put anything down, he'll just eat it. So,
except for green.
Except for green, yeah. If it's green, it's out. But he's gonna eat it.
Smart kid.
GTFO.
Eat a lot of it. A lot of it. God, he eats too much. Anyway, so yeah, cool. Well, I excited to see some pictures. We'll first word afterwards for this week.
Let's do it.
Of me and my fire extinguisher putting out the turkey because I burned it or something.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Well, cool. Let's get into your corner, Kelly.
Put me in my corner. All right. So Mike kind of ruined part of the joke I had for this first article that I have. So y'all know I love Mental Floss. Like if I've got a couple minutes to kill, I'll go to mentalfloss.com. They've got really great articles. Usually short. Lots of them are like the 20 best blah, 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 blahs or whatever. But I ran across one that kind of got me thinking. And I was like, oh, and I know how much Mike loves eggs because he just brought that up in this earlier segment. Loves eggs. Nummy, nummy, nummy eggs. He loves them, especially in potato salad, apparently. So, but
sorry, you're breaking up. I can't really hear you. I kept hearing something about
eggs, and you just
ate eggs.
So it got me thinking, why don't we eat turkey eggs? That's literally the name of the article. Why do we not eat turkey eggs?
That's gross.
Well, we eat regular eggs, Mike, and most of us don't find it gross. Just stop it. You're like my husband. He's like, ketchup?
What?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about you saying you don't like eggs. Yeah, both of y'all. Just get out of my face.
Because you said that with your spouse, we have a friend that is the exact opposite, that loves ketchup. Like, loves ketchup. Like, ketchup on hash browns, ketchup on eggs.
Oh, ketchup, yeah. Both of those good.
Ketchup on steak. Like, nicely done steak. Ketchup on steak.
That's not okay.
Like, ketchup on shrimp.
Pretty sure it's a felony.
Like,
I mean, cocktail sauce
No. This person was looking guilty at the table as they were eating healthy. And we just looked at them and said, just go on, just do it. You know you want to. Put ketchup on the salad.
Nope. I draw the line. Although I will say, isn't Thousand Island dressing like mostly ketchup too? So
that's
oh man,
terrible.
That's crazy.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
Serious problem.
Well,
anyway, turkey eggs. Sorry.
Yes. Back to our turkey eggs. So we eat duck eggs, we eat chicken eggs, even quail eggs. By the way, I will have to buy you each a jar. Well, maybe not you, Mike. No. Of these amazing Ottamaha River pickled quail eggs. They're incredible. Nope. You do that. You say, and I said the same thing. I was like, oh no. Spicy ones, effing incredible. You're gonna have
really
to.
I mean, I have had quail eggs.
Yeah, so
like fresh, like we had quails out in the garage. And I would go out there and get the eggs. They're great for boiling, like boiled quail.
Quails? And can we back that up? Quails in your garage?
Yeah, they were the school's quails for the science lab, and they needed somebody to watch them and take care of them for the summer. And I volunteered to. So we had quails.
And your parents were like, "You couldn't have taken care of the bunny."
No, well, that's another story. We actually, my mom had built a barn in the backyard for her Holland Lops rabbits. Oh. So there was a lot. But no, it would quails and they were in these cages where the eggs would just roll out.
Hey,
and
that's cool.
So it was great, man.
Wait, so you're saying automating?
Yeah. They're in these cages.
Was there automation?
A little bit slow.
Mike suddenly is like, I like eggs.
And there's this little gap in the back, and then it slopes down to the front, and a little stop, and then they lay the eggs, and they go bloop, bloop. And Yeah, you just
That's
take
cool.
those, you drop them into the boiling water for it's like 30 seconds and they're done.
Wow.
Like, it's amazing.
I would definitely try that for sure.
All right.
For
So
those that like eggs, you of
yes.
course.
I like them, just in the trash.
Yes.
Different thing you do.
Yes.
Oh my.
Hey, no, like that's the same as for me and seafood. Like,
You know, it's funny though. It's funny. I hate eggs, right? Like, I don't care what type of eggs. I've tried eggs. I've tried it a few times in my life, different stages of life. Don't like the texture. Don't like it. Demirin's with me. We got it. But I
Don't
can
bring
make.
him into this. Don't bring him into your.
What I've been told
Don't
is
sully
that
his name.
I can actually make a mean egg sandwich. So I can cook eggs.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I can cook them, but I don't want to be sitting next to you eating eggs.
Well,
which is weird.
That's like I know there is a long list of women that are totally down with that. Like, you're gonna cook me all these eggs and leave me alone while I'm eating them. Sign me up.
Yes. So I don't have to lift a finger, and I get to eat.
And not have a man stealing food from my plate. You know.
Yes.
Yep.
There's a lot of people, men and ladies, and thems and theys that would like sign up for that, Mike. So
it was worse because it was the worst was like living at this. I had a bunch of roommates at one point, and like one of them, he like worked out a lot, so he was always eating like eggs and like the most protein things he could eat. He would just cook up like 10 to 12 eggs, like scramble them, and he'd just sit on the couch and like eat all of them.
Yeah. There's so many other things you can do with eggs. So
he's just like he would literally buy like cartons at a time, like multiple cartons for like the week.
Why can't we do them to turkey eggs?
So the reason we can't, well, we can, but thank you, Brian. The reason we don't is because it's really actually much more expensive. So they taste very similar to chicken eggs, but chickens mature faster than turkeys, and turkeys actually live a lot longer than chickens. So a mature turkey will only lay an egg every once or twice a week. Chickens, I don't know if you know this, they typically lay an egg every day. Weather can have an impact on that, but it's usually one egg a day. Turkeys mature in 7 months, chickens in 5 months. So, and you also need a lot more space for turkeys. So, a chicken, you can have, flock of chickens. You can have, just a little bit of space. You can actually just keep them in the coop. Not nice, but you could do that. Turkeys need a lot more room. They need to roam. And also because they require a lot more feed. Because of that, it really costs like $3 a day for one turkey. So if you think about $3 a day
for $3 a day,
yeah,
save a turkey.
Like the typical, if we're going with like, grocery store brand eggs, not like organic free range, like $1.79 is like the average price for a dozen eggs. That
compared to like $21 for a single turkey egg.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just not really cost effective. And also, since they taste so similar, why bother? They are a little bit bigger. The shells are harder. They have a thicker membrane. I have had duck eggs before. I would compare them to duck eggs in that respect. Not that I've had eaten a turkey egg, but one person did say that their egg yolks were creamier so that makes them much better for sauces.
All right, I'm gonna check out of the chat.
Uh-oh, I didn't even see the chat.
No, just this conversation in general.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So that's why you don't see turkey eggs like on the shelves. They did say if you want to try them out, if there's a turkey farm near you, I'm sure they'll sell you the eggs. But yeah.
So I never think that's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
So pass on that. The next article I had for you, we were talking about traditions earlier on, and traditional Thanksgiving holidays like if you are a parent, some of us have a tradition of the elf on the shelf. Do you guys know what the elf on the shelf is?
We do, but some of our listeners, maybe
Do
one
not.
of them, do not.
Yeah. So the elf on the shelf is an elf that arrives in the US typically right the day after Thanksgiving. And they are Santa's eyes and ears. And so the elf, which gets named by your children, watches all day, every day, and then at night flies back to Santa and then flies back and goes to a different place. And
reports
the
to
elf is
Santa on your kids' behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
a pretty good like organization tree, though. I mean, the one step above is you're reporting to the CEO. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, direct reports of Santa.
That's a really flat like org.
I mean, you could be in the package industry, like
the flattest.
Yes. So you can't. The children should not touch the elf, because if you do touch the elf will lose its magic and not be able to fly back to Santa. And then, I mean, if your elf doesn't fly back to Santa, imagine Santa's panic about like, what happened to my elf? Did the children do something bad to the elf? So the children, nobody should touch the elf.
I'm more upset about the fact that we have a new freeloader living here now because he can't leave.
I mean, they don't eat a whole lot, so you don't have to worry. But yeah. So the elf can be a little bit problematic though. Because what if the elf doesn't move? So that's kind of a problem. So what if your children wake up the next day and the elf didn't move because mommy had too much wine or had a podcast she had to do and was really exhausted afterward? Then you're in a predicament, right? And so what do you say to the kid? And some children will have a little bit of a breakdown. There's things you can tell the kid, well, you misbehaved yesterday, so they're giving you a second chance, and they're not going to report back to Santa until you shape up today. So that's like one thing you could say, but it can cause a little bit of distress. It's also a huge pain in the ass. It is a thing. You have to come up with these ideas and you got to get creative. And the first thing that my kids at least do when they wake up in the morning is run and go and try to find the elf. So you have to get, our elf did a little disco thing once.
Because it's not just it's not just that it's an elf on the shelf that has to be moved around by the parent. In this case, it's an elf on the shelf that Creative Kelly has to move around. And she's not going to be like settling for like, okay, he's sitting on this shelf. Now he's sitting on a shelf lower. Now he's sitting on the other side of the shelf. She's going to be like, he's using like the chandelier chain like a stripper pole.
Exactly. That's pretty much. I'll send you some funny ones. But yes. And sometimes
Mike's facial expressions are great.
Sometimes
I'm sitting thinking like, yeah, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
No, don't.
We do have a friend, the girls have a friend at school, and the girls were talking about their elf, and she was like, what are you talking about? And I said, well, see, unnamed friend, have an elf on the shelf because they don't behave as well as you do. You don't need an elf to report back to Santa daily. And so they were like, oh, and that worked for her. So, that works. But the elf on the shelf is a big deal. There is a county in metro Atlanta area called Cobb. And there's a judge. Bless Judge Rob Leonard, because he actually created an order to make the elf on the shelf illegal in Cobb County. He cites that this is an article that both Mike and I saw, and he sent it to me. I was like, hysterical. When the elf doesn't move, it could cause, the child emotional distress. And he said the undersigned, the judge, recalls a horrific incident in his own home where 3 children were sent to school in tears, with one child being labeled an elf murderer and accused of making the elf lose his magic. The court has no doubt that the day of education was lost to everyone. So he said, citing the vulnerable children coupled with COVID and supply chain issues that are occurring right now, they have banished the elf on the shelves in Cobb County. So at least for the metro area, you can say that, unfortunately.
That's actually a good question. So where do you buy an elf on the shelf?
Well, before you go there,
stores, Target, Walmart.
Real quick.
They come from Santa, Mike.
Well, they come from
Santa.
Brian,
from the North
come
Pole.
back to this.
Well, hold on. But anybody who wants to go out and just read this for themselves, it's on Twitter at Judge Leonard. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. We can retweet it too.
So how do you explain that to your children when they walk through the store and see a bunch of elves on the shelves for sale?
That those are for other children, not for you. Some other children have to see these elves and they are their toys or whatever.
That's so you start lying to your child early on.
Yes.
Well, okay. I'm already lying to them about Santa, Mike. We're already lying to our kids about
what are you
Santa.
Wait, what?
If there's one thing that we've learned today is that Christmas is about lies.
All lies. All lies.
A month, sometimes a month or more of lying, as opposed to Halloween, which is we dress up on purpose to scare you. We're being brutally honest during Halloween.
Okay, can we go back to this whole fake Santa thing? What were you saying?
Okay. Anyway, so the whole elf on the shelf, we could talk about this for an entire hour, but the whole not being able to touch the elf too is a thing for some of the kids. They kind of panic, but they really want to. So the elf on the shelf industry is growing. You can have these special little pets that they actually come with the elf. In our case, 2 little reindeer. Thanks, Nana and Grandpa. And these 2 little reindeer, they can touch and they can hold and they can sleep with and they can touch that instead of the elf. But what they go away at Christmas with the elf.
What happens to Santa Claus? Jeez.
Because not only are we lying.
It's awful for parents. It's so bad.
Because not only are we lying, but we're also denying stuff. We're purposely taunting and denying.
Yes. So, but it is I will tell you, it is a blast for the kids. It is a blast. They have an awesome time.
I honestly had never heard of Elf on the Shelf until I was in my, I think mid 30s, like literally Mike's age before I ever heard of it. It wasn't a
thing. It is a new thing. It is a new. It wasn't always a thing. It is a new thing.
Dad, why don't we have Elf on the Shelf? And be like, because we have cameras in our house, son. Santa can tap right in.
That's exactly what you need to say. That's all you need to say.
New set of lies.
Oh God.
So there's your excuse, parents. Elf on the Shelf is illegal.
All right, Brian, will hit us with the news. Coming live from the Stanford studio.
One thing I wanted to bring up is we're coming to the end of the year. So the end of the year is always fun because every news outlet, I don't know, Mike, you're the host. Maybe you should think of, actually we did do something similar to this last year. So we've got our own thing. Yeah. We got our own thing that we do at the end of the year / the beginning of the year. But I mean, tons of people do stuff where they talk about games and the games of the last year, and they talk about them in different ways. Some of them have lists that are the best, sometimes even the worst. One thing that has been going on for a long time, and I mean a long time, like it started on Spike TV, I believe, which isn't even a thing anymore. So it's been around for a while, and that is the Game Awards. And the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley is one of the main organizers of it. And it is going to be happening this year, I believe December 8th. Yeah, December 9th. Sorry, December 9th. In the Microsoft Theater, Los Angeles. So you can go out, you can check it out online. And I actually encourage that because I didn't realize this, and I don't know if this is a recent thing, but they actually incorporate our votes in it. So they got
awesome. I love
very awesome. They have a group of over 100 people from the industry that get together, and some of it's press, some of it's game developers, and they get together and they get forms that they fill out and they send them in with their nominations of, what's the best game of the year and what's this. There's 30 categories this year. And so they've been doing all of that. Then we get to go out to the site and actually sign in. You can also sign in with your normal social media stuff to make it easy, because everything's about gathering data on people. So that's how we pay for this. And you can then put your vote in based off of what because the nominees are already set at this point. That part's done. And then the same people that got together and did the nominees will then vote, and they account for their weighted is 90% of the vote. And then the other 10% is made up of us, the voting public, which I actually think is kind of cool that it's only 10%, because then you can get away from, we've talked about review bombs before, like on Steam. And the opposite happens too, where you get like an anti-review bomb or a review anti-bomb, I guess is a better way to say it, where like something gets pumped up a lot more than really makes sense, just because it hits as a meme for whatever reason. So this kind of gets the idea of meme voting a little bit out of it, where only 10% of the vote comes from people voting. It looks interesting. For instance, Game of the Year. They have the 6 nominees of Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village, which I know is going to be Mike's pick.
It's funny, I've not played any of those.
Really?
See, I played Deathloop.
Yep.
In fact, actually, it's the only one I've played.
While I have not played them, I have seen lots of people play them, and I like.
Well, I was gonna say, why isn't Cyberpunk on there? But Cyberpunk came out last year.
Jesus, Sarah.
Well, that's actually an interesting thing, because that is not a disqualification for the Game Awards. Any game of any previous time to the awards can be put into the awards. What the specifications come in is the jurors, the jury that comes together, which is that 100 some odd people through the industry that are putting in nominees. It does have to be a game that for some reason is put in for the current year, whether there was a significant advance in that game. For instance, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is a great example. Something that started off bad, and then the year after that, all of a sudden was really great. Now, it would have qualified for like Game of the Year. That also allows living games, like Fortnite, for instance. I'm not expecting to see Fortnite on this, anything ever, but it is a game that continues to update. And if there's something that was like, oh, they made a significant contribution to something this year, so let's get them signed in.
Like Mythic Quest, we'll probably see that.
Which one?
I said Mythic Quest, but Kelly didn't even.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I love Mythic Quest.
Yeah.
I wish it was a real game. I would play it.
And it is. It's called WoW.
The categories.
No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same. Continue.
The categories are fun because they got best art direction, sure. Best score and music, you expect that. Best audio design, also cool. Best performance, which is given to a voice actor. So like,
awesome.
A person who played in Resident Evil Village, someone who is in Deathloop. Actually, 2 people in Deathloop actually got nominated. Far Cry 6. You can only guess who Far Cry 6 is.
Go ahead, say it. Say his name.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Esposito.
As Anton Castillo. So they got a couple cool things like that. Then they got like games for impact. So just games that I could see like, What Remains of Edith Finch being like something that would have showed up in games for impact in past years. Boyfriend Dungeon, for instance, is in that this year. Okay. So I was wrong.
Uh-oh.
So Cyberpunk is in it.
Under the category of Best Ongoing Game, the nominees are Apex Legends, Final Fantasy XIV Online, Genshin Impact, Call of Duty Warzone, and Fortnite. So I was wrong. Nice. Fortnite actually is in this.
Excellent.
Interestingly enough, 12 Minutes showed up in Best Indie, among other things. A Loop Hero's in that also, but Loop Hero came out this year. Can you believe that?
Has it been that long?
Yes.
I feel like we played that ages ago.
Yes. And it came out this year. See, that's kind of the fun that I have with the Game Awards is you get reminded of these games that you touched throughout the year, get that, kind of nostalgia. And the cool thing is it's an actual awards show that you can't buy it. Like there's no submission fee for games and you can't like purchase an award. It's a true awards show. And on top of that, the people that are getting the awards do not know it until the audience when it's broadcast live. They don't know they won. There's no ahead, like, you're nominated, right? But you don't know that you've won the award until they announce it live during the event. So I don't know. It's a Thursday night. I'll see what I can do to watch it live, but God knows that we're kind of busy on Thursday nights usually. So
or maybe we could do both.
That would be funny. Commentate over it. I don't know what time it is though. It just says live.
They literally say, "Can I co-stream the show?" Yes, we encourage all co-streaming.
Yes, we can definitely. It's 15 days. It's not a long time. It's 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it.
But
I vote yes. We co-stream.
I mean, we could always do that. So it's. I've seen prior ones. It's entertaining. This apparently was new to Mike, but then
now that we talk about it, I think I do remember hearing about this. I just didn't know why we were like. I didn't know if there was something special or just the fact that it was coming.
Yeah, I think it's neat because, it's not part of a magazine, right? It's a completely separate entity. Interestingly enough, the people that are like on the board of directors is far ranging. Tons of people. Hideo Kojima's on it, along with Phil Spencer from Xbox fame, and probably EA's on there, Activision's on there, just a whole bunch of people. So
cool. So the next thing that kind of, and this is something just to kind of talk about because it's not a new news thing or anything like that, but it was something interesting that I read.
It's an old news thing.
It's an old news thing, but it's something interesting I read. It's a Nintendo Life article, and the title of it's called Nintendo Hotline Life 1990 to 93. And it was manning the phones during the console wars. And I thought it was pretty interesting. It kind of goes through a little write-up of somebody who actually was a call taker, essentially, inside the Nintendo studio for during these years for the UK office. And as we've said before, and I think we've talked about this, but I mean, also if you don't know, like back in the day when Nintendo first launched, they had a hotline to where you could literally call in and get help if you need help for a video game, whatever game they were on, you could literally talk to a Nintendo specialist, and they could walk you through these different things. Because again, this is the early 90s. This is not something where you could just look it up on the internet. Like, the internet was very, very, very new, and limited amount of people even knew how to even use it. So it was, you call a number on your landline, somebody would pick up the phone, and you tell them, like, whatever situation you're in, and they would say, okay, what game, let me know. And literally what they would do is, they had like a binder and stuff, and there's some other really good documentaries out there you can watch, kind of cover some of this too. But they'd have binders that they all kind of like took notes in, and they would share notes. And because how they would figure stuff out is literally by trying it themselves and trying to get to the point where how to beat it. And, and then maybe some of the stuff they've read, and somebody shared knowledge, because somebody has been playing, Mario Brothers versus someone who's been playing a lot of Duck Hunt or whatever. So it's just pretty interesting, because it basically talks about his experience during this time. And he was saying that
in High Score, the Netflix documentary, if you wanted to see kind of the behind the scenes, that's really great.
And that's exactly the whole thing too, which was part of this. And it was funny because it said that they launched this, and they were trying to basically compete with Sega at the time, because Sega was also coming out trying to, like, put a spot on the map for what they were doing. And he said that there was just 6 of them basically in this office, and they were all just playing different things and had magazine binders, like they said, they were doing everything. And they literally had that's how they said, like, literally here it says with no internet, the 6 of us evolved our own hive mind, because they had to all literally come together and try to figure things out. And his experience here says, like, Nintendo Hotline, Keith speaking, can I help you? And it says, hi, well, this is maybe a bit embarrassing, but there's a dragon and it's breathing fire, and I can't get past it. I don't know what to do. And he's like, okay, no problem. Firstly, what game are you playing? You're playing a game, right? And the
I
guy's
love
like,
that
yes.
bit.
Sorry, Super Mario Brothers, or Super Mario Bros. But it's just, he's like, oh, easy. This is how you do it real quick. And they basically hang up. But again, this was a call center, right? So it sounds all great in theory, like, oh, you want to work for Nintendo and play video games for a living. Great. But what does it actually mean, right? So it means you're playing video games all day, but you're wearing a headset and you're answering phone calls. And if you've ever worked in the call industry, any sort of telemarketing or anything, call center industry, it's a lot to deal with. There's a lot of calls typically, and you're talking about Nintendo at the peak, right? When everybody's wanting, and there's no internet, you have to try to figure things out. And he mentions that they had started doing this, or recovering Nintendo, Game Boy, and Super Nintendo, and they had actually moved to a different office, but they actually had like a traffic light. So in the office that would display, it would go off as green, amber, or red to indicate how many like calls are waiting. And he said we have to try and stop it from being red. And
it's a game about it, like they made a game out of it. I love that. Yeah. Awesome.
And he says call times are based on an average, and this was tracked because this is a job, right? It's like a call center basically. But he said that's when the burnout started kind of coming in, because he said, but through 92 and 93, those lights were permanently red. He's like, 12 hotliners were answering about 200 calls per day.
Jeez.
Like, I couldn't imagine answering 200 calls a day. So they would easily get 2,500 calls in a day, and the light would be red, and it actually took its toll. And he just basically talked about how, they thought this would be a dream job. Like, this is working Nintendo, playing video games, answering calls, helping people out. And to the point where you literally burn yourself out of having to do this from 8 o'clock, to 8 or 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. like every day of the week. And it's a pretty interesting article. And like Kelly mentioned, High Score on Netflix, if you have that service, they actually have a really good documentary. It's like a 5-part series essentially, but it's really good. It covers a lot of this. But it's just interesting because it's, you always think about how fun it would be to play video games. I was talking about Mythic Quest a minute ago, and it's like, me and my wife are watching it, and we're like, how great would that be? Just feel like to be like the girl Rachel in the show, who's like literally playing video games. She's just a tester. She's a QA tester. So she just sits on the couch in this room and just plays games all day. Like, how great that would be. But it's at the same time, like, and you kind of see that in the show too. It's like they kind of get burned out of playing video games, the same game over and over, like having to deal with that. So it always seems great in theory.
Yeah, I love this picture, which is one of the original 6 hotliners, Mike Barnes, apparently. And he's what looks like, my guess here is a Zelda game. and he's got the instruction manual open. He's got this sheet of paper that's got a whole bunch of pictures on it. So something about levels, and then he's got something that looks like dungeon maps. Yeah. So he's got all these resources, and he's obviously posing for the picture, right? He's got a controller in one hand, but still nonetheless, or maybe he's not posing because like they were just documenting what was going on.
Actually,
but I love the fact that he's working for Nintendo, and this in UK. Iron Maiden shirt on.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's hilarious.
Love it. It's just amazing. And totally really 90s.
Like that was a good catch because you can't really tell that from the photo.
Oh, I can totally tell that. That's unmistakable to me.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's Iron Maiden. Yeah, because the reason why Mike's saying that is because the guy's kind of turned away from the camera a little bit, so you can only, and then his headset wires going down the center of his shirt, so you can see an R, the triangle, and an N.
But the font and everything is so like recognizable,
distinct,
iconic.
Yes.
And that's crazy. They were really open only for like 4 years.
That is crazy to me.
Just such a short time, but still like a long time for those people, considering what they were doing and how hectic it clearly was.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think in 4 years, the advancements in consoles too were coming out because they said they covered everything up to Super Nintendo, and we start having things like Game Genies. We start having people who are printing game articles, like books that have just cheat codes in it, and like the different walkthroughs you could buy. So they kind of started getting away from it, where you could just kind of like go to the store and get something rather than having to like call a number and wait in a queue. So
yeah, well, again, this is a great article on Nintendo Life to go check out. They talk about a little old lady that actually ended up being in the news as the oldest person in the UK to finish Super Mario World, that she would call up all the time and just chat. That's really, I mean, that's where we kind of lose some of the stuff. Like technology is great, we're moving forward and blah blah blah, but we really lose some of that stuff where like where people can really sit down and truly connect, as opposed to like the absolute burning dumpster fire shit show that most forums and stuff like that end up becoming.
Bullying and cyberbullying. And
one of the things that mentioned here is that the relationship we had, speaking of what we were talking about earlier, with Nintendo gamers was unique. It says the little kids would phone up and ask if they could speak to Mario. He says this, he remembers. He's like, there was a wonderful innocence about it, like believing in Santa. We never had the heart to tell him he wasn't real, so we would just say he's busy making a new game and couldn't come to the phone.
Nice. Oh, that's sweet. Couldn't get anyone to do the accent. Quick, where's Charles Martinet?
Mario.
So yeah, pretty cool article. We'll have to post a link for it. But yeah, if you want to see this in video form, just go watch the documentary of High Score because it's really good. And actually, and I will say, and I mentioned this before, but there's a lot of different documentaries out there, and it's interesting because I've seen a lot of this stuff. I've seen and read and reviewed a lot of the stuff, and the one that kind of was different was High Score. High Score actually brought in a different, not different, but it had a lot of information that I didn't see before that they kind of covered, which was cool. So I got to get some extra, pretty cool stuff. So anyway, that's our news for the week. Hang out with us for a few minutes, and we'll be back with a word from our sponsor. And we're back. So, Kelly, this is where we get into the segment of what we've been playing. And he doesn't keep.
Do we have music for this segment?
Yeah.
Anybody know?
So I noticed you've been playing a game on Discord. It keeps telling me you're playing this game, and I'm kind of intrigued to see or hear about it. Tell me a little bit about the game you've been playing.
So I would recommend this game if your friend was playing Halo and he kept dying.
Oh,
I would.
Wow, I thought we were going to start this. Okay.
Oh, ouch, burn. So I've been playing a game called Cats in Time. It's a puzzly game about this mad scientist, or not mad, it's just a scientist. Maybe a little forgetful. He's got a bunch of cats apparently, and built this time machine. But before he was able to fix his time machine, the cats jumped in it and are now spread all across the world in different times. So ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, future Japan, stuff like that. And these cats are sometimes hidden, and you have to rescue them and bring them back by solving a puzzle. Some are just like hanging out. Doesn't explain how the cats got in these situations, which is a little intriguing. Each level has 10 missing cats. You have to find all 10 of them, but it's the puzzles are very easy. But it's satisfying if you like puzzle games like I do and you just want something to play, just to kind of de-stress, relax, take your mind off things, with cute graphics. It's definitely worth it. Each level you have to find 3 broken pieces of like ceramic or something that I'm sure they're all achievements. Eventually, I'm sure it builds something. And there's only one level that I couldn't find the 3rd piece, but
it's just a plate they knocked off the counter.
Yeah, probably asshole cats. But it's actually a lot of it's been nice to just kind of concentrate on something really stupid. Like I said, the vast majority of the puzzles are really easy. But some of them kind of connect to the others, and it was only $5. So I've been enjoying it a lot.
Sweet.
So check it out. If you like puzzle games and you want something easy, that's a satisfying part about it.
Nice.
Mm.
So I've been playing a few things. As you mentioned, Halo. So Halo Infinite, Microsoft came out and said that they were going to open up the multiplayer for everyone. Game's not out yet, but just if you want to play the player.
I would also like to point out that they released it a month before they said that they were going to.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
And that's not a coincidence at all that they released it pretty much the same time that Call of Duty Vanguard was releasing.
Which Halo's been doing a lot better. But no, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. It's Halo. If you're not familiar with it, live
maybe under a rock
that you're living under. But actually, it's one of the games I did play on the original Xbox with a co-op person playing with me. Went through the story, Halo 1 and 2. But yeah, so the multiplayer, it feels really good. It does feel like it's obviously a Halo game. Definitely feels like Halo, except the way that you move and like shooting and everything kind of feels like a Call of Duty. So it's very fluid, very fast paced, but everything about Halo is there. So it doesn't feel like you're playing a Call of Duty game in the sense of like they just reskinned it. It definitely has all of the same feels as Halo. You've got your Warthog, you've got your Ghost, they got all the different vehicles and things. There's only a few maps right now, and also a few game modes that you can play as right now, but it's been a lot of fun, and I'm still getting better at it. Actually, I have a clip that I need to upload because it was something ridiculous, but it's been really it's a lot of fun so far. So it's only available on Xbox right now. So with the subscription for Xbox Game Pass, you can play it right now. I think you can also probably play it on the cloud.
It's available on things that the Xbox Game Pass is on.
Yeah,
because I played it on my PC.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you played on your PC too.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't like consoles. Wah.
Yeah, but he started the sentence, it's only available on Xbox right now because it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
But
right.
yes, Xbox Game Pass is what Xycia was trying to say. And that's true.
So, yeah, check it out. It's included right now. There's a lot of some people getting some flack for the store mechanism because there's a lot of things that are for sale, and I think someone on Reddit posted it was like it's almost like over $1,000 if you want to purchase all the customizable options.
Yeah, I mean that's true to most of them,
but that aren't available through the Battle Pass. So like even outside the Battle Pass, you'd still have to spend $1,000 to be able to get all of the different things. So some people have been talking about that, but other than that, the actual gameplay has been really fun. I haven't really had too many issues with it outside of, I think it crashed on me once. The actual game just completely crashed, but other than
dying, that was a problem too. I recall.
Anyway,
I'm just kidding. It's not that bad.
So first of all, I would like to address James the Sucks in chat, who has got it completely wrong because he says Mike doesn't have his facts. No, Mike has his facts. His brain is so stuffed full of facts that sometimes when he's trying to get it out of his mouth, they just come out in the wrong order. That's all. He just sometimes just says things slightly differently than the rest of us.
They're just jumbled up.
Yeah. He's right. He just says things out of order sometimes, and that's fine. Whatever. We all he does it more than some people, but we all do it.
Tomato. What does that mean?
Exactly. You've got a point there.
But
hey, for Halo, I played a little bit of it, and it's a shooter. Like, it is a shooter, and I played Halo. I played it on the original Xbox. I've played it on every Xbox console. I haven't played this one on the Xbox Series yet, but I will. And boy, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite recently. And boy, do they play different. Like, really? You would think keyboard, mouse, WASD, like sit there and point in direction, pull trigger, shoot, and like there's going to be different weapons, and they play really differently, and the skills do not translate very well. It's like I got into Halo multiplayer and I was like, oh, that's right. This is really hard.
I kid.
But
we definitely played the kids the first night, and the second night we played their big brothers. I will say we lost a lot the second night.
Yeah, it's very different. Like the time to kill is much shorter, which means that if you are new to it, the time to you dying is much shorter.
Yeah,
it's much more contained too, right? Because Fortnite, you all drop in different places of the maps, and you may not see anybody for a couple minutes. No, Halo, you spawn and somebody's up in your face, and they're shooting you and then pummeling you, and you drop, and you're like, but I ran 3 steps and I'm dead. It's pretty intense. It's a completely different flow to the game and a completely different pace to the game. So
it's not a battle royale. That's for sure. It's not. You're not.
It's not. Definitely not.
Extra large map. This isn't a battlefield or anything like
that. And
they
do have some larger maps, but it's still different. Like even
because larger maps, but a lot more people.
Yeah, and you respawn faster. Well, more persons per square foot type thing is really what it is. Because battle royale is 100 people.
Persons per square foot. I like that.
Yeah. Write that one down. Use it.
I've always liked watching people play Halo. I am really bad at.
Did you like watching me the other night?
I did. I actually did. I while I may have had the other game back in the background every once in a while, I wasn't playing it continuously. I actually did. I really like it. The graphics story was really cool. I really like the Master Chief's armor and all that. I've always thought it was a pretty cool game. So it was nice to get to see it again.
Really fun.
There's some really upset Fortnite kiddos out there. They're so pissed at Microsoft stealing Master Chief for the Halo series.
No. They didn't know it was. They stole it. Oh my God, no.
So they've done that for a lot of things. I mean, to be 100% honest, and I'm new to her, so I actually have to look it up. To be 100% honest, you've got "Don't Start Now" by Dua Lipa, and I had not heard of her before Fortnite. I got introduced to her because of Fortnite, and I really like her music, and I listened to it.
Yeah, she's awesome.
But at least I'm old enough to realize that Fortnite didn't create that shit. Someone else created it.
Like that one song, Cardi B. What's that song she has?
I mean, which one?
Oh god. Anyway, Halo. Check out Halo. It's cool. It's free right now on the subscription for Xbox Game Pass.
It's the multiplayer is supposed to be free forever. Which is why it has the microtransactions in it. The only thing that you're going to have to pay for Halo later is the campaign, the single player campaign.
Yep. So the next game I played, and this is super quick. This one's called Before We Leave. It was a game I had on my Steam wishlist for a while. And then I realized they added it to the Game Pass as well. So I checked it out last night briefly. But it's a city builder, sort of, with a little bit of difference in the sense of like it's more hexagonal. Like you actually have
hexagonal,
whatever, things that you actually place down for the different towns and cities and buildings and all that stuff. And so it kind of makes it almost like you kind of have to worry about where you place items because things can block other tiles, and then you won't be able to get there unless you like destroy the building and kind of go around it. But I just kind of played through the tutorial last night. It's pretty fun. It's basically like post-apocalyptic in a sense, but basically something in the sense where you're in a bunker underground. That's all you start with is like a little bunker, and then people come out of it as you build buildings, and they kind of build things. And you can do a skill tree and actually research items and try to get resources to build different things. So pretty cool. Check it out. It's on the Game Pass. It's also $19.99 on Steam if you're interested. And then the last one that I played, and I've been playing a lot of this actually. It's called Next Space Rebels, and I saw it on Xbox Game Pass, and it's $15.99 on Steam currently. I think it's on sale. But I saw this game and I said, I don't even understand what's going on in the trailer, but I'm interested. It kind of looked like a Kerbal Space Program. It kind of looked like that. The pictures of it was kind of like you're building rockets and you're trying to, launch them into space. Whatever. All right, cool. I'll check it out. The game was much different than that. And what it is basically like YouTube and like YouTube streamer
burgeoning YouTube star.
Yeah, like a content creator, like trying to get their start on like YouTube, but in this case it's called StarTube. And the idea is
that's a name.
StarTube is like a place where people upload their videos of their model rockets that they build. And you want to try to build things. And there's a girl named Rocket Girl who's like the top content creator. But she's like obviously pro, and it's like she has her own.
Oh yeah, she's a pro. She takes the rockets and she licks the fins real close to the mic.
Yeah.
Definitely not that.
No, that's a different tube. That's a different tube that I cannot say on.
She launches the rockets while she's sitting in a hot tub with a bikini on.
Yeah, nah. So she's actually got like her own workshop. She's like actually tearing apart like bikes and things and welding and stuff. But she puts out this contest to try to like I'm not going to go into details, but anyway, she puts out the contest and like you're like I want to do that too. But what's really neat is so you start off and everything looks like YouTube. It literally has the video page where you can like click the video, speed it up, slow it down, whatever, or skip forward. And there's like all the videos on the right side. There's like comments on there. And so you go to build your first rocket and you basically have like the model rocket kit. So you have like the fin, the base, or like the fin, the body, and like the head. That's it. And then you have like the little, like rocket cartridge or whatever you call them. And that's it. And you start your first rocket and it literally does nothing. And you're like, yay, great. But when you go to launch it, it actually makes it look like it's real, like it's actual footage, like someone holding a video camera, like filming this thing. So when you launch it, it actually looks like you're filming a real rocket launch, which is really cool. And so once you do that, then you can upload your video to StarTube, and it gives you the same. And if you're familiar with being a content creator, like uploading things to YouTube, different videos, it has the same like title, description, it has the tags you're supposed to use, and you select all of these items, and then you can select the thumbnail, and then you upload it. And then when you upload it, you actually can get like subscribers and actually likes on the video. And as you progress, like you start becoming almost like on Twitch, like an affiliate and then like a partner. And like once you hit this level, then you start getting sponsorships. People start reaching out to you like, hey, how do I how can I get you this item so you can like use this next time? And it's just this really neat little game. And it's and I know from looking at the footage, like I'm not even near the end of it yet, because there's a lot of other things as far as like the building part is kind of crazy. But it's a really neat game, I will say. It's definitely different For
It was super cute to watch. It was really cute to watch.
And it's something you can build yourself. You build whatever you want, like however you
want. One of the best things about building the rockets is it's like, oh, I have these rocket engines. Now, what am I going to build the rocket out of? Oh, I just have this random crap sitting around my house. Oh, here's some kids like letter blocks and like here's some shit out of Lincoln Logs or something, and you like cagel it together and strap some damn rockets on it, which is the interface that you use to create the rockets, which looks like damn near Etch-a-Sketch in some ways, lends itself to the rockets being very asymmetrical and never flying straight. And it's so cool that it's like, I could imagine some people that are like perfectionists and just going nuts on this thing when it's just all about just like slap this together and shoot it off and have some fun.
Spoiler, you can actually get past that. Like you actually download new software to like have a better 3D model.
Progress. Progression's cool. So they're putting role playing in everything these days. Did you know that Cyberpunk was one of the nominees for best role playing game of the year?
Anyway, so that game's $15.99 on Steam, free with this, or not free. It's included in the Xbox Game Pass subscription.
Yeah,
and check it out.
I've heard of that game a long time ago. And I never remembered the name of it. I just knew the concept and the structure and what it looked like. And you said, "Oh yeah, I'm playing, Next Space Rebels," and I'm like, "Okay, sure. What is that?" And then I was like, "Holy shit, I know this game! It's so cool." It's like super cool. People should buy it on Steam.
Yeah, definitely a cool game. So we should probably get into our short attention news.
I mean, do we have to?
Ooh, damn it. I've had that up the whole time, haven't I? Ignore that. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, so the Left 4 Dead veterans, people who worked on Left 4 Dead, have revealed that they're using AI Director, that they're creating AI Director 2.0. AI Director was what they used in the Left 4 Dead series, which is the way that is it actually from the way that the zombies and the camera angles work, like the way that they this is terrible. I'm a terrible person for this. Basically the way that they throw like the endless waves of zombies at you and giving you that like anxiety from doing that. Originally it was created by Michael Booth, but now he's at Bad Robot, also now to Valve. But they went on to explain how the AI Director from Left 4 Dead obviously is old at this point. It's like 10 years longer than it's been. So they actually have a new version coming out, 2.0. So there's that.
So Phasmophobia has a mysterious Christmas update that is coming, assuming around Christmas, based on Kinetic Games Trello. Sorry.
Okay, Mike.
I'm trying to use your words, Kelly, but I can't. So there may be a cursed variant of the voodoo doll, in addition to a summoning circle. We also may be able to trap ghosts. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to this one. It may not have, unlikely that it'll have a Christmas themed map though. So
I know members of our group that freak out about the Ouija board. So having a summoning circle, they're going to nope out faster than Mike nopes out of most Shocktober.
Pretty much.
So that's pretty crazy. Apparently there was a Switch game and that recently was on the Switch store, and lots of Switch games when they get close to Thanksgiving, they're like, oh, we're gonna go on sale, Black Friday, yay, and like less cost for the games and everything. And this game, which is normally $9.99, went on sale. It's called Membrane. If you're interested in checking it out, you can see it right now on the store. Except they went on sale from $9.99 to $250.
Nice.
That's a bad sale. I don't know.
Some people weren't sure why they did this. Were they going to for $250 and they missed the decimal point, or what was going on? Some people reached out to the developers and said, no, we actually put it at $250 for purposes just because we wanted to draw attention to the game. Well, congratulations, you did that.
Yeah, and now nobody's buying it.
Well, I mean, even if they, but actually, that's kind of a funny story. So one of the first downloadable contents was horse armor for Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, on the 360, right? And everybody was like, they were one of the first DLCs. They didn't know how much to charge for it, so they charged like, I don't know, it was like $5 for this horse armor, and it was destructible too. You could lose it, and it was terrible, and everybody hated it. And the funniest thing is, for April Fool's Day, they tripled the price of it to like $15 for the horse armor. It sold it like they had sold more during April Fool's Day than they had sold the entire time before that. It wasn't double, triple, quadruple. Like, they've got a great story about this. They sold the shit out of that horse armor just because people were like, it was a funny gag.
Oh my God, I wish I could make some money off of making a gag like that. That gives me ideas.
Please don't ever say that phrase again, Kelly.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, that's gonna. Oh god. That's what she said.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying we just gotta move
I guess
on.
I could make money off of something like that, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Okay, just so we're clear, that is not for sale.
So, at the University of Arizona, the history department has announced that they're going to be giving away 1 credit for their university for playing Age of Empires 4. What? So the idea is, because of Age of Empires 4 having obviously a lot of content for historical references and things, they're going to allow people to play the game to get more of a engaging type of learning experience, along with some material that they're going to provide as well. And the idea is, afterwards, they basically talk about their experience of playing the game through that certain period of time, along with the information that they've learned. And if those who actually do this and pass an assessment, they can gain 1 hour credit, 1 credit hour upon enrollment at the University of Arizona. So it's a project they're doing. There would be no textbooks, no test. It's just the ending assessment looks like, and yeah, you can play a video game in college and get a credit.
Nice.
So Kelly gets to go twice since you skipped her.
I did. I was like, speaking of, All right. So Todd Howard was answering some questions during a Reddit AMA. And one of the people in the AMA asked about, they're talking about customer character customizations.
Okay, Mike.
Moved on to asking whether or not pronouns. I'm sorry. Mike just totally threw me off. I'm sorry.
Right?
Todd Howard said he was very excited because they're going to be able to use other pronouns besides they, she, and he. So pronouns in between they, she, and he in Starfield. And to quote the article, all relevant dialogue would support whichever choice the player makes, which I think is awesome.
And considering there's probably aliens, that's probably for the best. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
What if their pronoun is slimest or something like that? I mean, you never know.
You don't know, man. That's right. I did have another article.
Keep you guys on your toes.
Thanks. Google Messages has an update, a beta update, where when you are texting with a group who's using mixed platforms, so Android phones and iPhones, and your annoying friend Kelly likes a comment or says a thumbs down on a comment, that you get a really more annoying message saying, "Oh, Kelly liked this comment about blah 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 blah," and it like fills up all of the space on your phone. The beta version will now beta version of which is version 10.7 will now actually translate. It literally is called a iPhone or Apple translation of the thumbs down and thumbs up. My husband is going to be really, really sad about that because he and his friends all have iPhones with the exception of one friend who they troll over text and just like and love and all that. So we'll be happy.
I'm gonna see right now because I have a Pixel and I usually get the stuff first.
Did you download the 10.7 version?
That's what I'm looking for. I don't have it yet, so I'm guessing I don't have that version.
Yeah.
System update.
Ooh. Hold on, Mike. Let me just message you.
Hold on, I'm doing the update and then
oh wait, oh my god, this could be a little bit.
Oh, you're good. No, I'm actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I don't think I have it yet though, because someone else did that recently, but we'll see.
I'll just still annoy you.
That's fun.
Sure. So there were several Wing Commanders back in the past, and lots of games based on Wing Commander. Fun space shooter. Even one that had FMV video in it, which was fantastic. It had Biff from Back to the Future was even in it. Not as Biff, the character who plays Biff. And an anthropomorphic talking lion was in it, so that was pretty cool. But in 2012, Chris Roberts, creator of Wing Commander, announces a new video game. It's coming to Kickstarter, an online marketplace where fans can fund things that are not yet complete. The game is called Star Citizen and it will be released in 2015. This is a word-for-word quote from the Kotaku article talking about Star Citizen. So now if you reverse those last two numbers from 2012 to 2021, they have now raised over $400 million and still don't have a complete game out.
So crazy to me. So crazy.
I know.
That's more than most summer blockbuster movies.
Yeah. And it's going to just keep going. It's sad. Anyway, so it's actually my turn to go this time.
Oh.
So Twitch actually announced recently that they're actually going to up the number of custom emotes that affiliates and also partners can get when they're streaming. Typically, as an affiliate, you get to have one custom emote. And I always thought this was kind of weird anyway, because I'm like, why just one? Like, you would think you would have a couple, But yeah, they only ruled it to one. Well, recently they said that they're actually going to up it to 5 total for affiliates. So you can actually offer 5 custom emotes, simply meeting the affiliate program. And then and all affiliates can earn 9 slots for custom emotes by reaching certain subscription milestones as well. They did announce if you're a partner, they are going to carry this over to partners as well. So you'll actually be able to up those up as you increase your subscription models, and you can get up to 9. But yeah, it's just something. It just seemed kind of silly that you only had one to start with, and now they've given you at least 5. So that's kind of cool.
Awesome. So, heck with the timer on this one, because Nerf has announced the new line of Nerf blasters based off of Minecraft items, including a crossbow from a pillager, which has shoots out 3 at a time, and
that's the hammer. Cool.
The hammer is interesting because it also shoots out 3 at a time, and the trigger's in the back, which this is a missed opportunity when you could just have bellows in the middle, that compressed air that you could slam the hammer down against something and the compressed air shoots the darts out, or the Nerf darts. That would have been cool. So that's kind of a missed opportunity. But they don't stop there. They have a really itty bitty tiny little ender dragon, kind of handheld, shoots one out of its mouth. That's what Kelly said.
That's what she said.
Oh, I'm drinking.
Oh,
they even have a ghast, so that's interesting. And they also have something called, I think they call it the Defender.
That's like
Guardian.
Like they ran out, or they have a bunch of extra handles for guns.
Right. Like, right. Yeah. A bunch of triggers. Like,
yeah. Basically what it is. Yeah.
So it was very interesting. Very interesting that they had that going on. Like me as an adult, and I, don't get me wrong, I like me some Minecraft. I'm waiting for the Caves and Cliffs to finish coming out, which is going to be coming up here in a couple of days, from my understanding. But those don't look all that great. The kids will love them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's better Nerf blasters out there, I'm sure. And again, they missed an opportunity on the hammer. Really,
it's funny.
They should slam it down and 3 darts shoot out would have been awesome. But no, there's like this trigger in the back.
There's actually Roblox too has their own Nerf guns, which is interesting.
Oh, really?
Nerf and Lego. I mean, like the Switzerland of AI, or not AI. IP.
Well, cool. That is our short news of the week. And this is the part where we get into emails, but this week we don't have any emails. But if you'd like to send us one to goa@sassgaming.com. I appreciate the email that came in last week. I wasn't here to cover it, but you guys did a great, fantastic job over it, so that's great. Anyway, so that is what got our attention this week. If you're interested in checking us out, you can check us out at sassgaming.com or our YouTube channel /sassgaming. Also, we have a Patreon. If you're interested in supporting us in little ways other than just watching us and want to, get some perks out of it too, check out our patreon.com/sassgaming. We'll see you there. So,
Mike ran out of gas.
Other than that,
he's like,
you guys have
hey,
a great holiday.
Check us out. There.
No, but you guys have a good holiday this week. Happy Thanksgiving to those who are celebrating it. And if not, just be careful out there. Make sure that, not to get in too much trouble or anything. And until next week.
It's so crazy wild holiday.
Yeah. Until next week on Thursday, we'll be back for the podcast. So we'll see you then. Until then, guys, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.